You ever leave a conversation with a woman feeling like you said all the right things, but she still forgot you? You made her laugh. You complimented her. You listened, nodded, maybe even paid the bill, but days later she ghosts you. Or worse, she says, "You're such a nice guy. I hope you find someone." Why? Because nothing you said reached beneath the surface. And here's the truth. No one teaches men. Women don't remember what you said. They remember how they felt while saying it. The men who stand out aren't the smoothest talkers. They're the ones who ask the kind of questions that stop her in her tracks, that pull her out of autopilot, that make her eyes soften, her guard drop, and her soul whisper, "Who is this man?" Because while most guys are playing it safe, asking the same dry, recycled questions she's heard from every other man, there are a few rare men who understand emotional precision, men who know how to lead a woman into a deeper space without ever raising their voice, without trying to be clever, without trying to impress. They just ask the right questions, and that's what makes them unforgettable. Not flashy, not needy, just aware, grounded, present. And when you combine the power of masculine stillness with the right, emotionally intelligent questions, she doesn't just notice you. She feels you. She remembers you. When the room is empty, when her phone is quiet, when every other guy has faded into static, she remembers you because you asked something real. In this video, I'm going to give you 8 psychologically precise questions that make women lean in, lower their voice, and connect with you in a way they've been quietly craving. So if you're tired of being overlooked, tired of shallow conversations, and ready to create conversations that make her feel something unforgettable, stay with me. Let's begin. Welcome to Stoic Paradox. A place for the few, the calm, the grounded, the men who no longer want to chase approval, but instead want to develop the kind of inner gravity that draws everything they desire toward them, including the kind of woman most men never truly meet. Because let's be honest, the modern dating world is full of noise. Fake charm, endless performance. Men trying to impress with flashy cars, witty lines, alpha posturing, or surface-level status. But do you know what truly separates the rare man from the rest? It's not his looks, not his money, not even his confidence. It's his ability to create depth. The kind of depth that makes her forget time. The kind of depth that makes her lean in without even knowing why. The kind of depth that stays with her long after the conversation ends. Because every woman, no matter how guarded, no matter how independent, is quietly waiting for a man who knows how to reach beyond her appearance, past her social mask, beyond her rehearsed answers and into her truth. But here's the problem. Most men don't know how to ask the kind of questions that get her there. They ask predictable things, safe things. Where are you from? What do you do? What kind of music do you like? And she answers politely, but inside she's already disengaging. Not because you're not attractive, not because she's not interested, but because there's no emotional weight behind what you're asking. What she's longing for, often without even realizing it, is a man who can make her feel what most men are too afraid to create. Emotional movement, not drama, not chaos, but that rare sensation of being seen, of being witnessed. And that doesn't come from telling her how great you are. It comes from asking the kind of questions that open the door to her real self. Questions that invite her into feminine expression without pressure, judgment, or expectation. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 8 rare questions that most men will never think to ask, but that the most emotionally intelligent, high V value women remember for years. These questions are crafted to bypass surface thinking and awaken the parts of her that are rarely, if ever, touched in conversation. Because here at Stoic Paradox, we're not chasing women. we're cultivating a presence so strong, so calm, so emotionally attuned that women chase connection with us, not because we said something clever, but because we made them feel something real. If you're ready to stop being forgettable and start being the man she can't shake from her mind, let's go deeper. 1. What's one thing you've always wished someone would ask you, but no one ever has? Don't underestimate this question. It's not just about curiosity, it's about permission. You're not asking for her resume, you're offering her emotional space, because every woman is carrying around an unsaid truth, a part of her story that's never had a safe place to land. And when you ask this, not with pressure, but with calm presence, you're telling her, you don't have to perform, I'm here for the unspoken. This question slices through the surface like a knife through fog. It lets her exhale. And when she does, you'll start to see her real self, the one behind the curated mask. And that version of her, she's the one who will remember you. 2. What was the moment in your life when you felt the most alive? Like nothing else in the world mattered. This isn't about facts, it's about feelings. This question triggers emotional recall, which means when she relives it, she feels it again. And because you are the one who brought her there, she'll start associating you with that peak emotion. Maybe it's dancing barefoot in the rain. Maybe it's the second she touched a plane window and saw the world for the first time. Maybe it's the way her dad looked at her when she graduated, or the exact moment she forgave someone who hurt her. Whatever it is, you've now touched a place. Most men never go, and she'll feel emotionally bonded to you for giving her that experience again. 3. Who made you feel the safest in your life, and what did they do that made you trust them? Read that again. This question isn't about them. It's about her emotional blueprint. She's about to tell you what makes her feel grounded, protected, open, vulnerable in the right way. And when she answers, she's indirectly telling you how to make her feel safe. Now, it's not just a beautiful question. It's a roadmap to her nervous system. And the deeper she goes into that memory, the more calm and connected she feels in your presence. Because women don't want to be constantly entertained. They want to be emotionally held, not by force, but by understanding. 4. If failure didn't exist, if you knew you couldn't lose, what would you really want to do with your life? This opens the forbidden door of feminine potential. Most women suppress their real dreams. They carry the weight of other people's expectations. They quiet their ambition. They self-edit because they've been told what's safe, what's practical, or what's realistic. But when you ask this, you create space for her to dream again without judgment, without agenda, without limits. And in that moment, she's not just telling you a fantasy. She's testing whether you're the kind of man who would support that version of her. She doesn't want a critic. She wants a witness. And if you can hold that dream with reverence, without trying to fix, critique, or minimize it, she'll begin to emotionally invest in you. 5. What's something you believe deeply, even if it goes against what everyone else thinks? This is a soul-level polarity test. Why? Because when you ask this, you're saying, don't just be agreeable. Show me who you are when no one's watching. It invites raw individuality, her edge, her soul, fire, her conviction, and whether she gives a playful answer or a deeply philosophical one, she's showing you her values. And guess what? When a woman speaks from her conviction, she begins to feel powerful. And because you were the man who invited, that you become psychologically linked to her emotional boldness, and that's unforgettable. 6. What version of yourself do you miss the most? And what happened to her? This question hits deep, almost sacred. It's not a compliment. It's a mirror one she may have been avoiding for years. Every woman has a version of herself she quietly grieves. The free-spirited version, the softer version, the version who danced alone in her kitchen or took spontaneous road trips or believed she was enough. When you ask this gently without pressure, you're not digging for pain. You're offering a chance to reconnect with her inner wholeness. You're not just a man in front of her. You become a portal back to the version of herself she misses most. And when a woman feels like she's becoming more of herself in your presence, she won't want to leave 7. What's one thing that makes you feel completely feminine, like you can finally drop all the weight you carry? You're not asking her to be soft. You're giving her permission to relax into her natural polarity. So many women walk through life in armor, doing planning, providing, leading, and they've forgotten what it feels like to simply be held, not physically, but emotionally. When you ask this question, you're not demanding submission. You're saying, I'm strong enough for you to be soft around me. That's rare. That's magnetic. And once she feels it, once she'll crave it again. Because a feminine woman doesn't want a man who controls her. She wants a man who creates a container so safe she can let go and return to the part of herself that only A awakens in the presence of real masculinity. 8. What do you wish more men understood about women, but feel like you? Can't say out loud. This is the final unlock. The one most men will never hear, not because women don't want to share it, but because they don't trust most men to receive it. This is sacred ground. You're stepping into the space between her truth and her silence. So, if she answers, don't interrupt, don't challenge, don't deflect. Just hold it with presence, with patience, with reverence. Because the moment a woman shares her inner frustrations, desires, wounds, or longings, and feels fully seen, not judged, you've just gone where 99% of men never will. And from that moment on, you're not just different, you're unforgettable. So now you've got the blueprint. 8 questions, 8 subtle shifts, 8 invitations that don't just spark interest, they create emotional memory, but listen carefully. These aren't just questions to be memorized and repeated, like lines in a script. They're reflections of your inner world, because the quality of your questions will always reveal the quality of your presence. A man who asks small questions is usually afraid of depth. A man who asks safe questions is usually afraid of truth. But a man who dares to ask these kinds of questions, calm, grounded, unapologetic, that man leaves a mark most women never forget. And here's the paradox. You don't ask them to impress her. You ask them because you're genuinely curious about who she is, beyond the surface, behind the smile, beneath the mask. That's the rarest energy a man can hold in today's world. Stillness, curiosity, presence without performance. When you become the man who doesn't need to prove anything, but simply invites a woman into her fullest expression, you instantly become different. Not louder, not better, just real. And that's what she'll crave again. So if this spoke to you, if you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting through presence, not pressure, then this is your place. This is Stoic Paradox. Hit that like button. Not for algorithm games, but because, men need to hear this. Tap, subscribe, and turn on the bell. Not just to grow a channel, but to grow a brotherhood of grounded, stoic, powerful men. And drop a comment below. Which of these 8 questions stirred something in you? And how will you use it differently from every other man out there? Because you don't just become unforgettable by accident. You become unforgettable by intention. Stay calm, stay sharp, stay deeply grounded in your masculine core. And always remember, you don't need to chase when you know how to awaken. I'll see you in the next one. This is Stoic Leia.